Is it my turn to? It's alright. Is that in the shared note?
No, but I might as well just send it to y'all.
Good. It's called the marquee signature. I'm gonna give you a lot of heaven. Yeah, that's cool. It's technically recording in 6K, so. That's perfect. You still gonna, yeah, you should. We can punch in.
I'm gonna have to look at that and get used to it because your borders are a little bit different.
It is a little bit different. I think it's because, so whenever I did all the configuration in it, I like set it up so that way. You want to press X for me on the keyboard?
X?
Yeah, just should open that up a little bit more so that way we can see the waveforms. Let me check that real quick. It looks good, but.
Yeah. Come here. Oh, it's my sister, your girl. I'm married, so I'm not still in.
How do we want to start this? Just want to like start right from the get-go? We live right now, baby?
Yeah, do you want me to send this to you real quick?
Go for it.
Okay.
Noah's
Let me
too
send this
busy
to you.
texting on the podcast, but he's sending us notes.
Yeah, I'm trying.
I'm on 4%, so the notes won't be.
What's crazy about this episode, I'm just going to say it right now, and we're going to leave this part in.
Okay.
People are going to be listening to this in like 10 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
10 hours, dog.
How long is it going to take you to... You're going to be up all night?
Bro, like 2 episodes ago or 3 episodes ago, I had half of it done.
Yep.
And so I back up my cache externally on like my project file, and I deleted it.
Ooh.
So I basically deleted all the project, so I had to redo it. I was up till like 1 a.m. exporting it.
It's okay. We'll be at Envy in the morning
Yeah.
with our caffeine addictions.
Honestly, it takes about however long the episode is, like recording time. So like if this is a 30-minute recording episode, usually it takes times 2 because I'm usually spending that half of that time like pausing and
Lining up everything.
yeah. But
Okay.
All right.
give us a big slurp, dog.
Ooh, Noah with the bit
This
slurp.
is a really raw intro for this episode.
It is, but are you guys ready?
Yeah.
You guys ready?
go.
Yo, welcome back.
Welcome back to the Creative Point of View podcast. My name is Ethan,
Noah?
Marquis.
and as you can see, we don't have a guest today.
Yeah.
And this is the Three Amigos,
I was
the OGs.
stole the words right out of my mouth.
The
I was literally going to
OGs.
say that.
The Three Amigos?
Yep.
That's what's up.
I just want to say, I want to apologize to you guys if I sneeze a lot or my allergies. It's that season. It's spring. My allergies are killing me right now.
It's all good.
Whack.
I know. Or sniff. I try not to sniff in the mic.
I had that like last week. I was like, oh man, like
It's that time of the year.
it's that time.
What's
that
new?
time. Yeah, let's check in. Man, you first.
Want me
Even
to
though
go
you
first?
asked, you first.
All
What's
right.
going on, Noah?
Well, man, since our last episode, we've had a lot going on at work. We had Easter, so really busy. We had like 11 services in a week, and that's just at
Was
one.
that at West? Did y'all have like 11 services just on that Sunday, or because I saw Mike's Instagram post or whatever?
I don't know about West Des Moines, but I know at Grimes
Y'all
where I
had 11
was,
at
we had
Grimes?
11, and
You had
then
11 at Grimes
Yeah.
by itself without West.
well within like a 4-day span.
Okay, so like Good Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Monday, Thursday, Good Friday,
Thursday,
Saturday,
Friday,
and
okay.
Sunday. Yeah. And then
That's a lot, dude.
keep in mind, I also work at Waukee.
So it doubles.
Double for me.
You got to go to all those services.
Yeah. So on Easter, everyone goes home and spends time with their family. I was posting Instagram reels to recap church till like 6 p.m.
dude.
and I had a splitting headache, man.
That's wild,
I didn't
bro.
eat anything.
What time did you
else.
like start and what time did you end?
So the last service that I had to like shoot content for was like, I think it got done at like 12 or like 12:30, and then I just went straight to my desk and just started editing
Content that you shot, or
yeah, just like photos. And there's so many good photos from all the services that I wanted to make reels to just show more, you know, than just posting like you know.
Dude, you're better than me. I took Monday and Tuesday off.
I took Monday off, but unfortunately we only got one day off. So.
Back to the grind on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Dang.
Our day off, like the office is closed at work on Mondays, and then my dad's birthday was on Tuesday, and I was like, if I'm gonna travel all the way back to the Quad Cities, I'm gonna stay an extra day. So I took Tuesday off, and then was back out on Wednesday. So.
Yeah. What did y'all do for Easter?
Man, I mean, so we had 2 services Good Friday. So we had rehearsal on Thursday, no services, but rehearsal Thursday, 2 services Good Friday, a service Saturday night, and then 2 services Sunday. So only 5, but yeah, you were there. No, you weren't there. Sunday morning was packed. So, like Saturday night it was big too, but like Sunday morning we set up extra chairs. Like we're already in this building campaign because we're running out of space like come event time.
Yeah.
We're just on a big weekend in general. We're like, oh dang, like
Yep.
this is full. And so we ended up setting up chairs. Really good turnout, really awesome experience. I mean, just the experience was just really good. Like it felt like church. It didn't feel like this. So on Christmas we do a little bit bigger of a production, more of a show, almost like sometimes it showcases the nativity. Sometimes it like, you know, talks about something else, you know, whether Christmas related or something tied into Christmas. But for Easter, we, you know, more like church.
Yeah.
And, but it was still really good. Like there were some special elements. We shot and had a video for it. And, yeah, it was really good.
That's cool.
It was dope.
That's dope.
And
That's dope.
what did you do, Marquis?
This was the first Easter I did not attend church my whole life.
That's wild.
Yeah, me and my wife, we've been traveling almost every weekend for like the past 6 weeks. And Easter landed on one of the weekends that we was traveling. Got a chance to see she's my niece. Got a chance to see my niece.
Nice.
So yeah, we was with family.
Right on, dude.
In
St. Louis or
Chicago.
Chicago.
Yeah, with family. So we watched a church called Calvary. It's a local church out there. We watched some of their service on that morning. Watched some of my dad's service. So we kind of flipped back between services that morning.
Nice.
But yeah, it was weird not being at church on Easter. I didn't get a chance to go to a Good Friday service either because we was on the road Friday. So
Oh, yeah.
so yeah.
Did you guys do anything fun in Chicago?
No, just ate really good food.
Like
We
what?
ate a lot. So we went to this place called Crafted. We went to this place. I forgot what the other place was. We did a lot of brunch, and I had a lot of like candy bacon. Like every restaurant we went to had some type of candy bacon, which was weird to me. Cause I'm like, is the suburb of Chicago like known
That's a
for
big,
their
like,
pigs?
yeah, that's like a big
Something?
Midwest thing, but like it's, I don't know. Yeah,
It was good. And
Chicago's weird.
I'm a pork lover. I'm a bacon lover. So got bacon as an appetizer for everything. Had chicken and waffles. Had like these pancake tacos. So
Chicken
just
and
ate
waffles
good.
in Chicago, man. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Bro, I
didn't have a
see-
Chicago dog.
Ooh.
Didn't have it.
Listen, I'll pass on that anyways.
You got glasses on now too.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Bro's blind.
Nerd.
Blind. Nerd. So most people don't know this. I don't tell a lot of people. So 2019, I was diagnosed with glaucoma. So I had to start doing eye drops. And when it started, my vision was perfect. But slowly, my vision has started to get worse and worse and worse. So during COVID, didn't go to the eye doctor. And after COVID, didn't go back to the eye doctor. mom came in town, asked me about it, and I was like, yeah, I haven't been to an eye doctor in a couple of years. And she was like, oh, we're going now. Like, we're going to walk in and see who can take it. So I finally went and got an eye exam a couple months ago and found out I needed glasses.
Do you remember what you're like, what is it? The 20/20 vision's perfect, but what was yours like?
I don't remember. I didn't even look. They handed me a prescription. I didn't even look at it. Just took it in and took it to Target and said, hey, I need glasses. Because Target was the only people that took my
I'm supposed to. Yeah.
And I'd rather have contacts, honestly, but I can't touch my eyes.
I can't do contacts. So. It sucks, too, because, like, I like to play basketball. Yeah. And I remember trying so hard to get contacts in because I swear that's why I started to go broke was I couldn't see the rim anymore.
Bro.
Yeah, but, man, like, I don't wear them unless I'm like driving, because it's probably smart to do that.
Yeah. I wore glasses for like a solid 3 years whenever I was younger. And I think, so how I understood it, this was whenever I was like 8 years old. So I was too young to really care. I was just like, I got to wear glasses. What the heck? This ain't cool. They gave me a prescription that was like supposed to help like, preemptively, if that's the right term, like help fix my vision rather than reaction. So like they're being like proactive. So like my eyesight had started to go a little bit, but not like bad enough that they're like, oh, you need glasses like right now. I just started getting headaches, fuzzy vision. But also I think that had to do with a little bit of like having undiagnosed ADHD and like the one where you can't read very well. What's that term? Shoot. There where you get like letters mixed up.
Dyslexia.
Yeah, dyslexic. Yeah. So like I was slightly dyslexic like whenever I was younger. So I think that had to play in with it. And so every now and then I'll wear like a slight prescription that I still have like if I wake up and be like, yo, my eyes are not working today. Yeah. But after 3 years of like wearing glasses, I was good.
I didn't know how bad my eyesight was until I put on glasses, and then I took them off.
It's a whole new world. You can see like what? At least for me, I remember when I put mine on for the first time, I could see every grain of grass.
Yeah.
It was wild, man.
It's crazy. Like if I take them off while I'm driving, like
mine's not that bad.
I'm like, or if I take it off like watching TV.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, whoa, like, yeah, I needed these all along. Because you never know. I never had glasses, so you never know until you get them. But
does it affect you when you shoot photos? Like, when you're trying to look through the viewfinder?
No, it hasn't. I still been shooting like normal.
Do you use like on the viewfinder? Do you use like the dial to dial in your vision?
I had to change it because it was dialed into my horrible vision that I had. So I changed that. That was one thing I did change on my camera. But other than that,
I didn't even know that like actually affected like how people shot that much until I shot with someone. They're like, oh yeah, I can't shoot unless like I'm not wearing my glasses on.
That's why you're
like, that's wild.
You shot on my R5 before. Have you ever like noticed the difference looking through the viewfinder?
Honestly, if I'm shooting with a mirrorless, usually I'm not using the viewfinder.
Makes sense. Yeah, that's fair.
But I'm sure I have. But honestly, like I rely solely like if I'm shooting focus, whether it's or shooting photos, like with basketball or something sports, I am
looking at the LED.
I'm relying on that autofocus. Like,
that's
I'm
true.
just like if it gets it, it gets it. If it doesn't, I'm gonna look at it in post and beat myself up.
I mean, Canon autofocus has gotten a lot better over the years. I know people still not Canon. Sony users do a lot, but hey, Canon can ride with some of the best now.
Yeah, especially like with some of their new firmware, like with having like their I don't know how many million point EVFs, like with the R5, the R10, even the new like R8 that's like the lower line, APS-C camera. It's still like a really quality camera. Like I've watched some reviews from Jared Polin, Frono's Photo, and he really beats up his cameras to be like if they suck, then like he's gonna let the brand know.
Yeah, he's
like,
know.
nah, this sucks. Like your product is trash.
Yeah.
But like honestly, it's hard to like not have a good quality content if you're using something that's somewhat recent. I mean, you're using a Canon EOS R and that came out 2014, somewhere in there.
I don't know. I feel like it was a little later on.
A little later, maybe
Was it
2016.
2017 or 2018?
It had to be 2018 because the EOS R came out after Nikon dropped their
Z6
their
II.
Z6, their original Z6.
Their first.
Yeah, because that was my first mirrorless camera. And the
Shot
Canon,
with the potato.
the Canon,
I remember
didn't
you
have
were
any
hyped
mirrorless.
about that, bro.
Dude. All right, quick story. Shout out Christian Photo.
Yeah.
I was broke in college. I had a Nikon D750 with an array of lenses. Like
Those were solid cameras, though.
yeah, they were. I don't know why I had so many lenses back then. Anyway, so they let me.
We all wanted all the glass.
Yeah, all the glass. They let me trade that in, all my lenses. Still didn't have enough money to have a Nikon Z6, just the body alone. I didn't have enough money.
Yeah.
So they actually, I don't think they do this a lot.
What, you layaway?
They let me layaway,
Yeah.
but take the camera because I had to do the Cityscape. We had a worship night at Cityscape. I think that's the one you played at.
Oh,
You
yeah.
played drums at.
Yeah.
And it was like, since you're doing work for the church, here, take this camera, come in, make payments. Because they don't do a they don't do a credit
They don't do a
system.
credit system. It's
So
like,
shout out Christian Photo for
Yeah.
that, for believing in me.
dude. I mean, I have a similar story. That's really awesome though. Like honestly, I can't stress this enough, and honestly, I don't stress this enough. So this is kind of on me, but like, if you have the opportunity, buy local. Like support the
100%.
local shops. I remember I was looking. So back in 2019, back when I was shooting with the 5D Mark III and 7D Mark II, I was shooting like all my sports content on those. Not great content back then. Like it was passable, but like looking back now, it's like thank goodness for upgrades.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, I gotta switch to like just a mirrorless, any mirrorless. And I like did a lot of digging. I was like, I'm just gonna go all in on an A7S III. So I bought my first one. And I was same thing. Went downtown to in Davenport, Camera Corner, and talked to my friend now, Doug, and he's like, yeah, like we got this on the shelf. We can get it for you. And I was like, man. $3,500
Yeah.
for just the body, not even talking glass. And I was like, man, what's the absolute best you can do on all this equipment? And they're like, this is what we can do. And I was like, all right, like, is there a way you can hold this? They're like, no, we can't hold it unless you like put money down on it. I was like, man, I'm a broke, not college student, but I'm just a broke kid. Like,
Broke boy.
Like I was just a broke kid. And I was like, man, I just got to have something different and better. And eventually, like, I talked to the owner, Ted, and he's a really good guy. Shout out Ted. And he's like, if you can, put this number up, like, on your honor, we'll cover the rest, and like you just pay like when you can. I was like, people don't do that anymore.
They don't know.
Like people don't do that anymore.
Shout out the locals. Shout out the
Yeah.
locals.
I think that's just really awesome because like people don't do that anymore. Like
Yeah, they
with
don't.
anything, like people
Come,
are like,
come with
"Ah."
that money or
or
find
they'll
a credit
charge you a
card.
ridiculous amount in interest.
Yeah.
Like which that's the way the world works. Let's be honest, but like it's really cool that people were able to do that. So
Yeah. Hey, I want to talk about some of the projects you guys been working on. Like,
yeah, let's do it.
Noah, I know you you did a lot for your church for Easter, but also recently you had some dope posts. You had some tangible print items that you had posted pictures about, and I think you got to jog my memory, but it's the quote on there was like, "He is risen," right?
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
news.
Good news.
Good news.
Yeah.
I'm thinking
Good
of,
news, he is risen is
Yeah.
on there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was the inspiration behind that?
Wow. So that was an idea that I've been saving for a long time. Like, and honestly, like I pitched it as an idea to use for Hope Worship. Literally every part of it I wanted to use to push like a worship night thing. But it just was not the right time, I guess is the best way to put it. Just nothing worked out, like, you know. I don't think people saw the vision as clearly as I did.
Sure.
And so I just saved it, and I was like, well, you know, for the worship night, I would have said something else, but the idea of printing something and putting it all over downtown, whatever it would be, right? Like, I wanted to do something, right? And then so I just got in a creative mood, and I don't post a lot. Like I do post a decent amount about my faith on social media now, but like before, like I was kind of like quiet and low key about it. But I don't know, something about just like, I don't know. I felt like it'd be a cool thing to do. And yeah, like I feel like some people are like, oh, it's not cool to post about your faith, but it's like, but you can make it cool.
Yeah.
And so like I hit up Neek because I knew that he would really like bring that vision to life too with his like film aesthetic. And I told him the idea, and basically during work, I just printed the flyers on the printer. I printed like 50 of them, and then I hit him up. I hit Neek up, and I was like, "Yo, like I know this is like kind of like cutting it close to Easter, but what does your week look like? You know, this week, I want to shoot something at night because like that's kind of the vibe we were wanting to go for, like with the flash photography and all that." And told him what I was hoping to accomplish, and it was cool because like, yeah, Neek just nailed it, and it's cool to see like the graphic design part like come together with the photo, and also there's videos that haven't dropped yet. I've just been busy, like,
Yeah,
you know,
fire.
those will be releasing soon. And it was cool because like, yeah, we just went downtown. One of my favorite parts was like we went to the bus stop downtown, and there was like, it was late too. Like we both got off work super late. It was like 9 or 10 o'clock by the time we started shooting. And we went to the bus stop first, and like I was just walking around and just slapping them up on stuff. And like I had several people like read it and be like, praise God, you know, or whatever. Cool. And it's just like, I didn't really know how people would receive it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really dope experience. And also what I was doing with like my shirts too kind of motivated me to keep experimenting with stuff.
Yeah.
And
so yeah, I wore your shirt on Easter Sunday, not knowing that the title of Pastor Jesse's message was going to be on my shirt.
That's crazy.
I was like I saw the graphic go up, and normally I'm kind of cued in on most of those things, like, oh, what do the graphics look like? But I was just so busy with other things that our production director for the weekend, she was handling all that. She took it like a champ. And whenever I saw the graphic go up, like, I was like, that's wild. I was like, that's dope.
Actually crazy.
And like, Jesse saw it. He was like, get me one of those shirts. Let me know.
Will do.
So I need another shirt, bro.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah.
We'll place a special order. But yeah, that's actually crazy too, because I remember Palm Sunday, I wore it to church because like thematically, like it ties into Palm Sunday too, you know? Because like Hosanna, Hosanna, the King is here, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, so I wore it to church, and my pastor ended his sermon with the line, "The King is here." I was like, whoa, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
Awesome, man.
I don't know if that's...
I think what you said, like, honestly, people need to catch that again is like you can make sharing your faith cool.
Yeah.
You know, like I think that's like whether you're a Christian or whatever religion you believe in, like we're all Christians. That's what we believe in, and that's what we would want to share because we believe it's the truth. But whenever it comes to that, like you can make that something that people actually want to care about. You know,
For sure.
And for me, I think some of the best creatives they have some tie to or have some type of belief.
Yeah.
It might not be of Christianity, it might be of something else, but I feel like most creatives, they have some type of tie to some religion or some belief. So
I read an article, I think it was last year, maybe it was in 2021, but there's a vast majority. I want to say there was like 60% in this survey of creatives who are in the secular industry got their start in a house of worship, got their start in church. You know, it's just like we've talked about it on this episode or on this podcast with like Holden or Thaddeus, and that just like there's so many opportunities within church that you can learn so many creative outlets because everything that you need is there. It may not be to the scale of Elevation, Life Church, whatever. It may not be that to that scale, but everything you need to be creative is within the church.
Yeah.
So and honestly, it gives you a mission to like be like, okay, like there's a pure vision and a clear cut way of how you want to express that. Yeah. Now it's just like up to you to like go and follow that.
Yeah. And like, I'm really like just, it was awesome having Neek involved in it. Cause like, I don't know what Neek believes, but you know, when I told him about the idea, he's just like, yeah, I'm down, you know? And that's just two creatives linking up that respect each other and love each other's work. And, so that was just a lot of fun. And, I'm really pleased with how it turned out because, like, I think it's important for creatives outside of work to have those passion projects that you can pour, like, 100% of your creativity into, and you can see, like, your vision start to finish, right? Because oftentimes in the work environment, you have to sacrifice personal preference or, like, whatever to bring someone else's vision to life. But having the opportunity, even, you know, we were out late, you know, like, and we could have just went to bed, but, you know, putting the time in to make something cool. So yeah, it was good. It was good. What about you? You did a video for Eternity.
Yeah. Posted on the Instagram. And I credited, you know, all the people that were involved, so it wasn't just me. Honestly, I felt like really lucky to just be able to take an idea that someone else had and bring it to life. You know, I think of myself as kind of like not an influencer of like, oh, like, what's up, subscribe to the channel, but like an influencer of like taking someone's passion and like fueling it and influencing what they're wanting to accomplish and like kind of push it to completion. And so I wasn't even the one with the idea. Our pastor Lauren, she's like our creative pastor, she's Jesse's wife. She had this idea for like we want to intro Sunday with kind of like bring up the energy a little bit, but not just make it all hype and stuff. She's like, we want it to be exciting because the day should be exciting. You know, Friday was dark, Saturday was silent, Sunday is here. Like, we want it to be exciting. And so she pitched this idea. I actually think I talked about this like a couple episodes ago whenever I was like talking about what inspired me lately. And she pitched this idea to a guy in our church, and he used to do like some hip hop and like songwriting and music production and stuff like that. And he wrote this just absolutely baller piece of spoken word. And like he kicked it back to us within a day, like within 24 hours. He just like wrote it, kicked it back to us. We made 3 edits, like tops. Like we changed like maybe one phrase, the entire thing, and then took the vision of like the intro and changed it just a little bit to fit the mood. And man, like honestly, like I was very lucky to just be a part of like kind of bringing that vision to life. Unfortunately, there's just so many moving parts that we weren't able to shoot. So I mood boarded kind of like what I wanted it to look like, flat tones, you know, not bright, kind of along the lines in a way of what our graphic designer Steph she made for the graphics for like promoting Easter. Shout out Steph, she killed the artwork portion of it. But also like in a sense on Easter Sunday we should be done talking about Christ's death. Like on Sunday we should like we're not talking about that anymore. We're talking about his resurrection. And part of the spoken word was after Jesus rose, he revealed himself to like, what was it, 5,000 men, you know, and he revealed himself to the disciples, and then to this pair of friends who is on the road to Emmaus. And one line that he put in there that like they could not see the face of the majesty in front of them. Like they saw him with their eyes, but they did not know that he was like, that was Jesus. So I want this idea of like, I don't want people to see his face. Like I don't want people to like see Jesus, but know he's there and like feel his presence. So unfortunately we didn't have the bandwidth and just like the time to like shoot something ourselves. But I found, honestly, the perfect footage online and paid for some awesome stock footage by really talented cinematographer. Checked out a lot of his work, like found his LinkedIn page, and just I was like, this guy is doing really well. Took his footage, cut it, edited it, colored it. And then we had this idea to write like a hip-hop feeling like trap song that would go along to his spoken word. And we were like, man, that would be really dope. Like just really different feel for Sunday, you know, aside from like, whenever I think of Easter, I almost always think of the song by Christian Stanfill and Passion, you know, like it's like that big, like guitar heavy, you know, worship song. And it's like, it's a good song, like not knocking at all, but like everybody does it year after year. It's like the Easter song. So we're like, man, what if we wrote like some kind of like hip hop song for it? We ended up not scratching the idea, but it just didn't work. It just didn't work for what we were going after. It didn't fit the feel of it. And so I found this song that's just like this stock song. I was like, kind of like this feel. But rather than just like taking it, stripping it, and using it, Ethan Bochting, he's our guitarist at church, he and I retracked the whole song. So we just like, because we liked how it felt and how it sounded, but we're like, it's not all the way there. It could use some more. So he retracked and rewrote the entire guitar part. I rewrote and retracked the entire synth part. The only thing we used was the drums, and then I added, you know, another beat to it. And so like having an almost completely original piece, you know, there were ideas from like that song that we use, like we still use like the idea of the song, but made it our own. And then we used someone else's footage, but like it was really cool. Like it turned out really well. I got like a lot of compliments, and honestly, I can't take credit for a lot of it because I really just put it together. Like,
how much time did you spend on it from start to finish? Like, did y'all start writing and conceptualizing it like months out, weeks out?
Yeah, about a month, about a full month is when, maybe close to 6 weeks is whenever we had the idea, is whenever Lauren sent Joe the idea. So yeah, about 5 to 6 weeks, I want to say. And then a week later is whenever I got my hands on what he wrote and read through it. And I was like, yeah, this is baller. Like, let's go. That next Sunday, I took a mic and made a small little recording space, you know, put some weighted blankets for audio, and then just recorded his track. And then took it, cut it, and then just did all the vocal processing on it. And so once I had that, then I started looking for footage because I knew we wouldn't have time to shoot everything. And so I would say probably with 3 weeks left is whenever, 3 weeks till Easter is whenever I found all the footage. And actually, we scrapped the entire first draft of the video. And side topic, I think it's really important to like have minimal eyes on a piece whenever it's first in the beginning stages. Because whenever you start getting a lot of feedback and a lot of this and a lot of that, not that it's bad.
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah, not that anyone's feedback is bad or that it's not valued, but at that beginning stage, I was like, literally, it felt like I was just taking a pencil on a piece of scratch pad and just like writing all my ideas down and like, but in video form. Like basically I took like the video that I found and still use some of the footage that I found from the first draft, but like found this footage and then I was like, put it there, put my thoughts on the first, didn't even have a song behind it. I was just like, I just need to see it. Put it on the screen, sat in the auditorium just by myself and like played it. And I was like, how does this feel? How does this flow? And then got feedback from the people I needed to get feedback from. And the next day I was like, this isn't it. I was like, this just isn't landing. And so the next day with, I don't know, probably 2 weeks left, I scrapped the entire thing. And so the next day I just re-edited. And honestly, the second draft, I probably made like 5% edits after that second draft. The second draft, I was just like, I have a better direction. I have a clear mindset. I got the feedback that I needed to, and I also know how it felt in the room whenever I watched it with the audio, because there was a certain pace to that spoken rhythm that's just rhythmic, that when you feel it and hear it, it does something different.
Yeah.
So when I heard it and felt it in a bigger room, in a bigger space, then I knew a little bit more clear where I was going. So the second draft, I would say I probably kept 95% of the edits. And then that's when I figured out, I was like, all right, can't go with a hip hop thing. Because I was still kind of holding on to that. I was like, maybe we can make it work. Maybe and I started looking up like, all right, like slower BPM trap beats, like, let me see if I can find like a 76, 88 BPM like trap beat where it's like just like real chill hop almost. And I just couldn't find anything that I was like, that felt right. And so I ended up finding this song that like it felt good. And then, I don't know, probably that next weekend. So like a weekend before Easter is whenever we finished retracking it. Only took us probably 2 days to like finish editing and mastering it, and turned out well. I probably would have gotten like, whether it's Holden or Thaddeus or someone who's a little bit more experienced with like post-production mastering, because I do okay with mixing audio and mixing like music. But since it was mainly a background audio and track, I didn't really need it to be like the prominent focus, so I wasn't as worried. But yeah, it ended up turning out really well. I'm happy with how it turned out, and honestly, it felt good to just have a piece like that under my belt where it's like, it was someone else's idea. Can't take credit for the idea, but I can take credit for a lot of the production of like, I felt the vision of what they wanted to accomplish and accomplished it for them. Yeah. So
I saw this post that was shared by Mate Hudson, Tiffany Hudson's husband.
Yep.
And I screenshotted it. He just put on a story. The title of it, it's just like a note, but it was like how to avoid demoitis. And he just had written in his note like, when we become overly attached to a premature version of the work we do a disservice to the project's potential. And I feel like that kind of can apply to like that, you know?
Absolutely. I was listening to another podcast yesterday, and if you know me, you probably have heard me talk about River Valley Church. It's up in the Twin Cities, Minnesota. Have a lot of respect for them and their team, and one of their creative directors and like production guys. His name is Aaron Johnson, and he's just really, really talented, but also very humble. And he has an aura about his leadership that is just very like, he wants you to be better than him. And honestly, I would kind of want to emulate that in a leadership role as well. Like, don't try to be like me, be better than me. You know, like there's only so much that I can accomplish with my sphere of influence that someone like you and someone like you can accomplish way more than me. So, but he had this conversation with, you know, the other two podcast hosts of whenever you bring a creative idea to a team or to a panel or just someone that you're collaborating with, if you have this idea of this is what I want to accomplish and not this idea of how can we make this idea better, you're probably going to fail in the creative industry. If you're coming to an idea, be like, check out what I made, check out this song I made, I can't wait to record and master it, like this is my baby, and you are not open to any creative feedback, it's only going to get so far. Like there's a lot of power in collaboration, but also a lot of power in just the humility of being like, how can I make this better?
100%.
You know, taking someone else's idea. And if you're only in it for the credit, then honestly, you're probably only going to impact so many people on a very surface level.
So listen to what else he said on this. He said to avoid like the demoitis, like limit the amount of time reviewing the art, listening or watching. Try not to show the art to many people, like too many. In some cases, don't share it at all. Work as far as you can, then step away. When you step away, you leave room for growth, change, and development to continue. Art is choosing to do something skillfully, caring about the details, bringing all of yourself to make the finest work you can. It is beyond ego, vanity, self-glorification, and need for approval. So yeah, being like humble and, you know.
Nailed that on the... I like what he said about like stepping away from a project and giving it room to grow.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to do that to come back with a new perspective.
Oh, that's the rule I have for any time I deliver a photo gallery. It's like if I can't sit on this for 24 hours and be like, I love it, then there's more work to be done. You know? I don't even know who I learned that from, but it's like when you create something, just sit on it for 24 hours. It's not a lot of time, but if you can't help making some edit or some change to that in 24 hours, then there's more work to be done.
100%.
Marquis, what have you been up to?
Yeah.
You know?
Nothing too crazy. My Easter, this is my, like I said, this is my first Easter not being at church or being a part of some type of project at a church creatively. So it was my Easter leading up to Easter was chill, just getting ready. It's pretty much good business oriented, really, just getting ready for wedding season that's kicking off in May, meeting with clients and meeting with couples doing our final meetings for weddings. But nothing.
So are you in kind of a, not a lull, but like you're just in the preparation season for busy season?
Yeah. So yeah, exactly that. Just in a preparation season for busy season. Wedding season is upon us. So that's going to be crazy. Real estate right now, it's finna start picking up because it's getting warmer. It's spring. So I just been chilling. I went on vacation and we did a complete disconnect, me and my wife, for our anniversary. So that was really nice. I didn't even take a digital camera with me. I just took straight film. Shot a lot of film. We stayed in tiny homes. Nice. So shout out Getaway Cabins. They're pretty legit.
Where else did you go on your trips?
So we went to Osceola, Missouri, to a place called Highland Getaway Cabin. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people probably seen them on. They're super popular on Instagram. There's just a little tiny house, and it has a huge window that look out into the woods. So me and my wife, we went out there, camped. We love camping. Did that for a couple of days, and then went up to Kansas City. Yeah, it was a good time to disconnect. I didn't do any editing. Read a couple emails, which I probably shouldn't have did, but when it came to editing or doing any work, it was a complete disconnect. Like I said, I didn't even bring a digital camera with me. Just brought film.
Was it difficult for you to be disconnected?
Oh yeah, 100%. With being a business owner, it's tough because some days you feel like your business can't run without you, which that's something I'm finally getting over. Letting my business partner and people that work for us handle it, trusting them that they can get the job done, and that's super fulfilling now, knowing that like I can go on vacation and not have to worry about anything, and no stuff is getting done. So that was big, but it was very tough not to, because we all always got stuff to do. It's always projects to edit, something to work on.
Yep.
So that was the toughest part. But right when I stepped foot back in Des Moines, I hit the ground running hard and got right back to editing.
Did you return with any new ideas or like inspiration that you're just like, wow, like going to a new place really brought something to me?
Yeah, I actually had a lot of ideas that I jotted down. I wrote a lot. Just ideas, like been in those small cities, well, not even cities, towns, like Osceola, Missouri is literally nothing there but a whole bunch of antique shops and a decent coffee shop, which it was actually pretty good. So I had a lot of time to kind of just like sit and think about like did some mood boarding for future projects that I hopefully get to shoot this summer. One being based in a small town. So it really helped out just not having, I was hardly on social media. I didn't have any outside influence. We probably could have died out there and no one would have known. So,
Man.
So yeah, it was a good time of just reflecting, thinking of ideas. I got a lot of passion projects that I want to try to get done this summer. Actually, we didn't talk too much about it, but I text Ethan like, hey, we should do a chop up somebody else's like commercial, and turn it into our own and see if we can do that. Like Peter McKinnon does that a lot with his editor. So I was like, we should do that for fun and see what we come up with. But yeah, I think I got a lot of good ideas that I'll probably pitch to you and Ethan about filming. 'Cause I know we talked about multiple times. We got to do a passion project.
Yeah.
A short film of some sort. So,
Yeah.
it wasn't too exciting, just pretty laid back and chill.
Any passion projects outside of work you're like eyeing or working on, Noah?
Man, so yeah, I'm continually working on like the shirts because obviously I haven't put them up for sale or anything yet. So that is still work in progress. And I want to wrap that up at some point soon just because I don't want it to just prolong itself and then lose its momentum. So, yeah, I need to wrap that up. I'm doing a lot of, like, freelance work for a lot of people right now and just trying to, you know, find ways to stay creative.
It's good.
Passion project wise, like for myself, besides the shirts, I don't really have anything that's like really on my mind besides just like, you know, helping my clients and stuff. Yeah, like I'm working for one of my homies with his brand. I did some branding for him and I created some logos for him and have been helping him with his clothing drops. And that brand is called Uncertified. So that's pretty cool. He just started out like a few months ago. So it's a good friend of mine. And yeah, there's some other things too, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Yeah. But yeah, what about you?
Oh man. I'm kind of overloaded a little bit with work. So Easter, we just finished Easter, and we get to kind of take a little bit of a breather from like any like church events or anything like that for the next month and a half. But there's a company that I'm freelancing for and doing some shoots for coming up, and then I just had an engagement shoot and am in the stages of helping them plan their wedding photos, and I'll be shooting their wedding in the summer. And then there's another client that I'm also doing some video work for. So it's like those three plus, you know, the 9 to 5 is keeping me super busy. But I did just get a new camera, switched to Team Canon. I'm back.
I was gonna bring that up.
I'm
earlier.
back.
Yeah.
Canon. Now we're all Canon. Thank God. Oh, Jesus.
Maybe not for long. You know, you never know. I might just like be flip flopping around. But
I hope you don't flip flop.
you know,
It's not a good look.
I know, man. But I finally got rid of all my Sony A7S IIIs. It was tough. I was conflicted the whole time. I was like, man, like, do I really want? But I was like, you know what? You know, there's not a bad camera out there. There's no bad cameras out there.
It's really not.
So I made the decision. I went with a Canon R5C. Stoked about it. Actually went out the other night with a friend of mine, and she and I just went downtown, hung out, and took some photos. I might post a couple of them. They turned out pretty good for like the conditions. I just kind of wanted to test what I'm getting out of that camera.
What made you switch?
Honestly, so in the future with content creation for the church and for like live streaming and production and stuff like that, we use pretty much all Canon. So having a sensor that can accept EF mount, you know, whether I switch to something with a PL mount for strictly video or stay with an EF RF mount. So I kind of wanted to go in that area just for the sake of glass, but also it does make a difference whenever you're coloring, color correcting, just using something that you're familiar with. And I was pretty familiar with coloring Sony footage, but when you are constantly switching between color profiles and, you know, recording on a Blackmagic or a Canon C200, you know, you're going through Blackmagic log, Canon log, Sony S log. Mm-hmm. If I do any drone D-log, you know, all these color profiles, you're color correcting them, you're using a color correction to like translate them from like log to like an H.264 just like profile, and then adding your color correction, your exposure correction, your LUTs, your masking, all that stuff. You have to do it for each one. It's time consuming. So this cuts down on a little bit of that, but my biggest one honestly was probably just having everything be on the same mount again with Canon. Right. I have RF adapter for shooting anything with EF lenses, and then, you know, if I want to get like some PL glass, which that's in the works of having some cinema glass, that just works well for like larger productions.
Welcome back to the light side.
I know. I know. It was a long time. Well, not a long time. What, 4 years? Yeah, 2019 to 2023. So 4 years of shooting Sony. Wow. I enjoyed it. Might get another one just to have, but
I need to get a camera. Like, I've been shooting with the same camera for a minute now.
Hey,
go get an R3, bro.
Bro, that was tempting, dude. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I was like, man, do I want to go after the R3 or like have the R5C?
R3 is solid.
I've been
R3 is solid.
Honestly, my whole life, literally my whole life, I feel like I'm always behind. Like,
but here's the thing, dude. You do really well with what you're given.
Yeah.
Dude, the quality of photos that you produce, no matter what you're given, You just kill it, bro.
I just wish that at some point I could get ahead of the curve or like get on the new thing. Like hopefully one day I can do that. Cause like even with like iPhones, okay, this is an 11 and what are we on now?
A 14.
14. Like
Yeah.
I'm jealous of everyone with a nice camera, bro. Like it's just, man, I'm always
feel that.
behind, but I try my best with what I got. And I only got
good.
one lens too that I shoot with. So I don't know. Should I get a new camera or should I get more glass?
It's not always about the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
The
like,
glass is
true.
tempting. I mean, it's always better to have. It's always good to have really good glass.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? But
Yeah.
I think your body for what you do is really good.
honestly, for being like a photographer and not even a videographer, just with what you can create with, you know, that is a 24 megapixel frame sensor.
The RE.
It's like 24-30.
I can't remember.
But like you have great resolution, and honestly, you've perfected your editing style of what you really love. But yeah, man, maybe you'll get ahead of that.
Yeah. I just want one day for like the new model to come out and I have the money and I can be like,
Gotcha.
I bought that.
Gotcha.
I bought that right away when it was new.
The only thing about having a camera that can like be dual, I feel like the R5 can get bulky sometimes. Even the R5C is kind of bulky for pictures.
Yeah.
You know?
I see that. I think a lot of it is the glass too. Like depending on what you're using, like we're using EF mounts, and not that like that's bad, but like
It adds up.
yeah, using the adapter, but also I've been doing a lot of research lately. Sorry to switch topics, but on the electronic sensor and with like the flickering modes.
Yeah.
I've been watching some videos on baseball photographers, and you'll see the warping of a baseball and of people in the background with like that light flickering and like just the shape just warp, and you'll see the baseball like almost contort. It looks like it's in 2D.
Okay.
Like just like flattens and like
it, yeah.
does weird stuff.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's like a flaw in shooting. Does yours shoot 30 frames per second or 20?
No.
10, 12? I don't even know. With photo.
Oh, with photo.
Photo,
I
yeah,
thought
yeah.
you were talking about video. Like,
No.
Mine is, I think it's 30.
30.
Yeah, it is 30.
With that high shutter, but it being mirrorless and that electronic shutter, I think that has something to do with it.
Do with the warping.
I need to do some more research on it. I just started.
So you saying
looking at that.
DSLRs are better for baseball?
That I mean, dude, people like I still see people with
1DXs?
yeah, like the 1DX, like they hold their value. You can't find a used one for less than $4,000.
No, you can't. I just picked up one not picked it up, like bought it, but I just held one at Christian Photo.
Bro, I
earlier
shot
this
a
week.
wedding with that.
It's a beast. It's a mammoth.
Not only is it heavy, but it does the job. Like that mechanical shutter shooting at 30 frames per second is wild, dude.
It's crazy.
Or maybe it's 20, but either way, it's just like
just a big rectangle, pretty much.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know,
It's got that big battery in it.
you posted this on your story or you put it in our group chat or whatever recently. The Fujifilm X-T3, and that was honestly my first love before I ever went with the Canon EOS R. I really wanted to buy that camera, but at the time, so like keep in mind at the time it was like 2018.
Yeah.
Like the EOS R and the Canon stuff was going up with the video, like everything was dramatically improving. And so that's why I went that route. But part of me deep down really just wants to buy an XT3 and just
You got
get
the XT5 now.
yeah, or something Fujifilm, right? Because I love how they look too. It's just
Fujifilm has
yeah.
amazing. I like Fujifilm colors.
Like I've thought about honestly having just a Fuji just in my bag. I think that would be really dope. Just, whip it out, just have fun with it. I kind of wanted to rent it the other day just for fun. And it's an older body. Like it's, 2014, 2015, but It shoots really crispy photos.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I agree. Shout out Fujifilm.
Yeah, honestly. This was a good episode.
It was.
Glad to catch up. Glad to catch up with you boys.
A little bit different. Went back to our OG ways. We will have a guest back into the guest list. We got a list of really good people.
The episode that we'll have next week, y'all.
Yeah,
it'll be good.
Week. It'll be really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what inspired you guys this week, this month? Weather's nice, new movies out, creative juices flowing.
Honestly, there's like a lot of things that I'm gonna have to cycle through them, but like the one thing that like specifically today was pretty cool. Our last podcast episode guest. We're the host. Our last podcast episode guest.
It's late tonight.
It's getting late.
It's a late night.
Drew Dow. Super cool to have him on. And honestly, we got him on at a really good time because today in the Des Moines Register, he was featured for just, doing what he does. Like, honestly, he just kills it. He got a lot of traction on social media for it. And so they put out an interview with him. And he, like, what he just said is like, yeah, I just want to put Iowa on the map, like whether it's Okoboji or in Des Moines, just like doing stuff. And the podcast was featured in the
shout out Drew.
Yeah, shout out Drew.
Shout out Des Moines Register.
Shout out Des Moines Register. Thanks for the shout out. It was dope to see our thumbnail on that link. So it was pretty dope. So that's what inspired me. Honestly, Drew doing what he does, super dope. Super glad we got to have him on and now have him as a friend of the show. So.
And he'll be back on in about a year probably.
Hopefully
sooner.
Yeah. Hopefully sooner.
Hopefully.
Yep.
Know what you got.
Cool. Man, I feel like there's a lot of stuff that has been inspiring me. First, I want to give a shout out to Parker, who is also a guest on our podcast. He got the chance to go down to, I believe it was Houston, for the McDonald's All-American game and shoot some content for Omaha. And he got some cool stuff down there. So it's cool seeing another guest of the podcast, like out here doing some big things. Yeah. So shout out to Parker. Also, like Northern Vessel and the Iowa Cubs.
Yeah,
like that's a cool thing going on. We had Alex on too, part of Northern Vessel, and so just seeing that whole thing happen.
Everyone awesome. Since they've been on the podcast has been winning, bro.
Facts.
Let's go.
Hopefully we can keep that trend up.
Yeah.
What you got? For me, what was very inspiring to me was, I kind of already talked about it. It was just getting away, having that time to decompress. When I came back, I had a lot of just creative juices just flowing. So hopefully I can turn the wheels and translate that into my passion projects. Because not too often I get to do passion projects because I'm so consumed in client work.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's my biggest thing this summer is that passion project. So hopefully soon you guys will be seeing some form of a short film come out. So
yeah, bro. If you ever need to talk it through, like you got
100%.
I know you got other people, but I'm here to encourage you to do that because I want to see it, bro. I know you got ideas, and I know you're talented, man. So
I appreciate that definitely. So
this was a good episode. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.